workshops. Workshops like working remotely, will it work for you? Overcoming difficult work histories, in and outs of job applications, and capable and confident. Those are really good workshops with terrific PowerPoint presentations, incredible slideshows, and packed with so much knowledge and things that are up to date. So I would like to just add with, or continue with my introduction of Laura Novak with just what I wrote, something that I put together from what I learned about Laura, aside with my own personal experience and what I learned on top of that. So Laura Novak is an inspirational workshop facilitator with Workforce Boulder County. She comes alongside job seekers wherever they are in their career journey and provides spaces for individuals to learn. Imagine, grow, and move toward. Helps develop resume writing and interview skills with clients one-on-one, designs in-house curriculum, as well as acts as a skilled and dynamic moderator for special events like the Workforce Development Virtual Roundtable that took place. Laura has had a rich and winding career story, including studying film at CU, teaching early childhood education, venturing into the nonprofit world, and partnering with community agencies to support vulnerable folks in Boulder County. Laura has a master's degree in social work and is passionate about self-development and growth. Laura is a connector, developer, encourager, and a creative. So without any further ado, as they say, I'll let Laura Novak take over here.
Thank you, Michael. Whew, such an introduction. Well, yep, like Michael said, my name is Laura Novak. I am a part of Workforce Boulder County. We have a training team over there focused on creating and leading workshops related to career. We also have a whole other group that works on financially focused workshops. So I am part of the career focused team, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you about some of our updated and more recently created workshops. I'm going to give like a little bit of a sneak peek into some of those for folks that have not attended them yet. I think they're very relevant and timely. And then I'm going to talk a little bit broader about workforce and some of the other services we offer that might be able to support you in your career goals. All right, so I'm going to share my screen right now. We will, let's see if it
looks good.
You see it? Okay.
Yep, feline.
Okay. All right, if for some reason the slides disappear or stop advancing, please let me know. Sometimes Zoom gets a little weird. Okay, all right, so we are, so one of the main workshops that we have been working on for, gosh, probably the last 6 months has been around the future of work. And this one, we actually have only launched once. We had a workshop in January. We're going to have another one in March. So Michael, I don't know if you were able to make it to this one, but this is our newest workshop and something we're super excited about. I worked closely with Catherine Keegan at the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment to co-create this workshop. And what's incredible is that Catherine is the director of the Office of the Future of Work, with CDLE. So like this is her world. Really diving into what are the trends that we're anticipating with work, the changes that are coming, ways to really prepare ourselves to thrive, in this new future work landscape. So
I'm not sure if you're aware, Laura, but we had Catherine Keegan start off the year on
what?
January 6th. Yeah.
I did not know that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she is amazing.
She did a really thorough job updating her slides, and that was a real treat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, so this will be old news for folks
Well,
that
no,
saw Catherine
no,
present.
it's interactive, and you learn more in a different perspective.
Totally,
So
totally.
that would be a very good workshop to go to.
Yeah. So that one at this point will probably be a little less frequent than our other workshops because at the moment, Catherine and I are co-teaching it. So we're hoping every other month we'll do a workshop really geared towards the future of work. And so this, one reason I'm starting with this workshop or talking about this workshop with you all is because not only is it our most newly created workshop, but it feels like this is, on everyone's mind. Like, what is the future of work look like? What is going to be my place in it? Especially with the pandemic, really accelerating some different elements like remote work. And I think really prompting a lot of self-reflection. I heard that this, in the introductions earlier from a few of you, just really being in a space of reflecting on what's next for me, or what do I really want my work to look like? Maybe that's really different than what I've been doing. So I think the pandemic has really initiated a lot of these things, thinking about the future, really reflecting on what it's going to look like, how we're going to be a part of it, and what can I do to feel prepared and equipped and thrive wherever I end up. So the future work workshop, it's a really nice mix of, we give, courtesy of Catherine, some really information rich stuff about the future work trends, but we also delve a little bit into that personal aspect. That's kind of where that's more my forte, is like really thinking of the job seeker, what might be going on, what are the thoughts, what are the fears, what are ways that we can find resources or tools to engage with this. So we talk a lot about the realities of automation and artificial intelligence. So I had originally named this workshop, Robots Are Taking All the Jobs, because I hear that so often from folks as being a very real concern, that with all the advances in technology and the automation and AI, that our jobs, what's going to happen to my job? My entire industry, it seems like it is going to be run entirely by machines. That's a valid concern and fear, and we talk about it. We really get into some of the specifics of what this will look like. So yes, automation and AI and technology, it's here, it's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to advance and really integrate more into our workforce. And we really want folks to know that you are not going to be replaced. Things might look different, right? the job you're doing at this moment, that might look really different in 5 to 10 years. But as far as a contributor, someone that has value and things to offer, that cannot be replaced. So there is still going to be a place for us, even as we integrate more and more technology into the workforce. So we really focus a lot on, what can this look like as a partnership? What will some of the changes look like so we can anticipate them and adapt? So this workshop is really focused a lot on skills and skill building. And I'm sure you know that from when Catherine presented, but really looking at, okay, so as things are changing, what skills are going to be needed to be successful, to adapt to the changes that are happening. So this is, these are some of the skills that have been identified as being really foundational as we're moving forward. And I think it's what's really cool about it is, yes, there's a digital component, the technology piece, but that's not the only skill set that is really going to be important. Human skills, which I just love that name. It sounds so kind of funny to me, but what are the skills that are really unique to us that, technology is not going to have? Some business skills, but I really like this T-shaped workers, this little graph over here. And this is just really showing that as we're moving forward, one of the things that's going to be important for workers are just to have kind of that breadth of knowledge. So yes, there might be some expertise in one area or with a particular skill, but a lot of it is going to be just, knowing a little bit of a variety of things. So I just think that's kind of a cool direction that we're moving in, to have, more well-rounded workers as far as skills go. We spend a lot of time talking about these uniquely human skills, and really kind of to address some of the fears of being replaced by technology. This is just a great reminder that there are many, many things about us as humans that are unreplaceable. Yes, our technology is getting better, and we're doing wild, crazy things with machines, but some of these things that are listed, it's just, these are things that are very unique to us and cannot be replaced. So take some encouragement in that these skills, these are things that you probably have or can really also be developed. I'm not a very natural risk taker, but that is something, I over time have, dabbled in and have cultivated a little bit. So a lot of these are skills that you can learn and develop. And really that ability to adapt and learn, those are two of the most critical skills that you can have to really be ready to participate in this future workforce. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that the technology is changing rapidly. So, we don't even know in 10 years exactly what jobs are going to be available, right? New jobs are being created all the time as the technology is changing and advancing. So really the name of the game is going to be able to adapt to the changes as they come, and to learn, to be able to learn new things. And maybe that involves learning a new role or a new position, a different system of operating. But these are going to be two of the skills that are really going to be critical for any worker, because yes, there is that technical piece, but because that's changing so fast, the bigger piece is, are you able to adapt and learn when the new technology becomes available? Okay, so this is actually a moment for you all. I want you to take a moment just to think about something that you have learned recently. It doesn't have to be, work career related. It could be, something small. It could be a piece of knowledge. It could be some kind of skill. But take a moment to think about something you've learned recently. I think this can be helpful because it might feel like, whoa, okay, I have to be like a lifelong learner. That feels intimidating. I'm not a learner. School was really hard for me, right? Different thoughts might be coming up, but I guarantee that everyone here is constantly learning, even if it's not in a very formal way, like taking up online course, or sitting down and reading a book about something. Your learning often is unintentional. It's just happening, right? As we're operating in the world and we're interacting with people and ideas and things, we are learning. And taking a moment to think about something you've learned recently can kind of bring that a little more thoughtfulness to it. And hopefully just be an encouragement that you all have the ability to be lifelong learners. And that is something with a little thoughtfulness, utilizing some tools that we go into a lot of detail in our workshop. You really can build that lifelong learning into your daily routine, into your career. So anyone willing to share something you've learned recently? Lauren, do you have something?
I've learned recently in the last few years that cat memes like you have here break the ice. They make people happy, of people of all ages.
Mhm.
I have to think more. I have to think more on an actual specific thing, but I am a constant learner. I read, I track things online. Now we have Google to do that.
Mhm.
I talk to a lot of people. I am definitely, absolutely a constant learner, and I always have been. And it's something I've come to embrace as people talk about it more, like you are right now. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to share something you've learned recently?
This is Jim Lawrence, Laura, and I didn't learn this recently, but it is the Clifton Strengths Finder
Mhm.
assessment. I found that one of my top 5 was learning and learner. But I use that all the time and have used it recently on the job search to, because every job, and I suspect I'm not alone, that if it doesn't kick you around for a while, I don't think it's a job worth doing. So there's a lot of things, unknowns as you come in, and as you say, new technologies, software that I'm in finance, financial software, and things like that. So I use that as an answer or to supplement any of in the interview process. Here it's documented that is, and it's just part of me, and it's an important skill, as you say, for employers, is what they're looking for.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. One that is a top skill. That's fabulous, and really cool how you're integrating that into conversations, into interview questions. That's awesome. Thanks, Jim. And I see we have a couple learners in the group.
The Learners Club.
Sarah, what do you have for us?
Well, just a quick one. There's this great program at Colorado Law School. It's called the Mini Law School. I don't know if anyone goes or has gone there, but it's not super expensive either. But anyways, they had a class last night on property, and a lot of different subjects came up, and one of which was just, I'm not sure how, but the professor was talking about ways of getting married in Colorado that don't involve actually having a third party to do it, that people can get married if they want to without a third party. I just thought that was really interesting. Or like filing together on their taxes and living together and appearing married qualifies as marriage. I thought that was really interesting. But the little school is awesome. So just wanted to share.
I'm gonna check it out. Thanks, Sarah.
Of course.
Anyone else? Hari.
Yeah, I mentioned that learning is one of my strengths as well, and I've been doing a lot of like more formal learning thanks to the Boulder Workforce, who gave me a LinkedIn Learning license. So thank you for that. That has been amazing. So I've been like taking 2 or 3 courses a week. It's been awesome. But then recently I wanted to learn how to make a curry, like an Indian inspired curry. So I, went on the internet and taught myself how to do that. And then it came out pretty good. So I was very excited about that.
That is awesome. I love it. I think the example I shared when I taught the Future Work Workshop is still one of the most recent things I've learned, is that apparently I've been doing my laundry wrong forever. I was just reading about how you really should wash your sheets totally alone with nothing else. Because I was like, why do my sheets, like, they're getting worn down super fast? What is going on? And so apparently they're so delicate, you're not supposed to wash them with towels and linens and other stuff. And that was my learning moment. So so yeah, learning, it does not have to be that formal. I'm taking a course. I'm studying a particular subject. I'm taking out books or listening to podcasts about it. Learning obviously happens in a lot of ways day to day. Learning a new way to cook, a new recipe, a new something around the house. I feel like I've been learning a lot through the pandemic. I got very into trying to make my home just feel more peaceful and visually just a place I just enjoy being. So I learned a lot about, hanging things, and power tools and all this stuff. So we are learning all the time. And this is something that employers, we're hoping that employers are really going to start embracing some of this as they're, kind of looking at who are we going to hire, how are, what are we going to really prioritize for our workers. And it feels like things are maybe going to swing a little bit and shift away from where we've been at, where it's been employers really looking for applicants and candidates that already have the experience, are already, almost experts in the field and in the position that they would be taking on. And so everything we're seeing with the trends for, the future of work, if employers get on board with it, it's really going to be looking more at, do you have the ability to adapt? Do you have the ability to learn? Are you innovative? Can you be resourceful and problem solve, right? Those things are going to really take on a lot more weight than just an expertise or that technical knowledge, which is a lot of how employers hire right now. So you are all learners. Thank you for sharing a little bit about some of the things that you've been learning recently.
I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah.
You may cover this later on, but what Hari brought up about the LinkedIn learning, can you share with us how to sign up for that and how long that would be available for?
Sure. Yeah, I'll just give a little shout out to it right now, and then at the end I have like some ways to contact us and how to get connected. So one of the things that we are able to offer right now is a LinkedIn learning subscription. So if anyone is not familiar with LinkedIn, you know, it's I think most of us have LinkedIn profiles, but fabulous online networking platform. And they also have this side of it that's LinkedIn Learning. So it has thousands of courses, tutorials. I mean, pretty much anything you want to learn is going to be there. I'm currently taking a graphic design course. I have a coworker taking like a social media one. I mean, they have so many things. So really incredible resource for this ongoing learning, but also, you know, if you're looking to transition into a different field, take some courses, learn a little bit about it, you know, start getting a feel for it, start building some of those skills yourself, or just exploring what's out there and finding what is interesting. So we are able to offer folks a free subscription to LinkedIn Learning. And I believe it goes through June. So still got, you know, a couple months on there, and I'll let you know at the end of our presentation how you can get signed up with that. You just have to send us an email, say, hey, I'm interested in a LinkedIn Learning subscription, and we will get you set up. Jim.
Laura,
Yes.
Thank you. I don't mean to derail you, but I wanted to add too that the Poudre Library District offers LinkedIn Learning on an ongoing basis for free. And you don't need to be a resident. You can sign up for an online membership. If you show up, you can get a full membership. But I don't know if Boulder Library does that or not, but it is available on an ongoing basis through Poudre libraries.
Thank you. Trent.
Yeah, Laura, is LinkedIn Learning the same as Lynda? Didn't LinkedIn buy Lynda, and is that the same thing, or? Okay.
Yeah. So the Boulder Library used to have, it was called Lynda, but yep, it was all these courses. If you had your library card, you could access all of them. And then
Right.
LinkedIn Learning bought all of that material. And then I think they've, you know, added other things and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't believe the Boulder Library has its own thing. I don't think it allows that access to LinkedIn Learning the way Poudre libraries do. But that's a great reminder, because I've heard of several libraries throughout the state that do have access to LinkedIn Learning. So always a good idea to check with your library, because they may have some really incredible tools and resources that are free. So yeah, and especially if our LinkedIn Learning, we're hoping it will get renewed, that we'll be able to offer it, you know, beyond June. We just don't know at this point. All right, so thank you, everyone. Yeah, really great resource. And again, I will give you that email at the end of where you can send us a message if you would like to get connected. All right, so so that was just a little taste of our future work workshop. We also, one of our newer workshops that Michael mentioned is a remote work workshop. This was really developed out of, you know, the needs of the pandemic. We, Workforce, we have been working virtually since March of, what year was that? 2020. So almost 2 years. So we switched, so our work really switched to remote. And as we were, you know, talking to people and talking to employers, you know, it became pretty evident that the desire and need to work remotely was really accelerated by the pandemic and the shutdowns and, all of that stuff. So we have a workshop that is solely focused on remote work. We get into pros and cons, reasons remote work might be beneficial, things that might not be, right? I think it can be easy to think, oh, if I work remotely, I can, just take my laptop and be on a beach, and just, doing whatever. And some people make that work. And we really try to explore the scope of remote work so that as an individual, you can start figuring out if it really is a good option for you, for what you want to do, for your career goals, for the situation you find yourself in right now. So we talk a lot about skills. Again, that's gonna be a theme in most of our workshops. Are skills that are needed. So I think this is a really cool graphic, and these are skills that are listed in remote work job postings in Colorado. And I think this was like the last quarter of 2021. So it's kind of like the fall. So just kind of interesting to see what are remote positions looking for. So we have that visual, we've got, communications, interpersonal troubleshooting, right? So a lot of these I think are fairly obvious, but, just kind of nice to get a visual and to kind of see, oh, I actually have a lot of those skills. I've never worked remote, but I have a lot of these skills already. Maybe I can transfer them into a remote position. This is, sorry, it's a little fuzzy, this graphic. I was trying to make it big enough to read, but it definitely lost some quality here. But this is, just gain a sense of what kind of jobs are now remote. It's really expanded. At one time, the type of job that was a remote job was, fairly narrow, obviously, something computer related, maybe IT related. But now the options have really expanded a lot. So, just if this is something you're at all curious about or interested in, it is worth looking into, because there are so many different kinds of jobs that have remote opportunities, and it's really going to continue to expand. So these are, just to get an idea, these are the top 10 remote occupations. This is pulled from Boulder County and the state of Colorado. Oops, sorry. So there is a nice mix. We've got marketing managers, software developers, quality assurance analysts, computer occupations, personal service managers, so a lot of managerial positions, web and interface, digital interface designers, accountants, human resource specialists, sales representatives, what's customer service, and computer use support. So it really is beyond what I at least would normally think of, like, oh yeah, like, maybe that computer user support specialist, or the web designer. But it is interesting. There are more, call centers, there are more sales, thinking of all like the e-commerce going on. So there's a lot of really cool options to explore. And in our workshop, we really dive into the side of, okay, as an individual job seeker, what kind of skills are needed to really be successful and thrive as a remote worker? Because it is a different animal. Maybe some of you have shifted to remote work in the pandemic or, have just done it at different points in your career. But there are a lot of differences to that in-person job. So we really try to lay out a lot of the skills that are needed to make this work. Things like self-management. You may learn that, oh, it's actually really difficult for me to stay on task and manage my time and all of this when I'm in my house. There's too many distractions and it's just really challenging. You might not know that until you're in that environment, but these are just things to think about. We take it further than just skills that are needed, but looking at, what are your actual options for your remote office? So, I am lucky enough that we have an extra bedroom in my house. So I've been able to kind of set up a little office here. But my parents come out every summer. So this summer they were here for 2 months and I had to move my office into my bedroom closet. And it worked, but because, mostly because it was temporary, but you have to really think about, do you have the space where you actually can be productive? What is your environment like? Are there going to be noises and distractions? Are there pets? Are there, family members around? Those are just things we don't think about until we need to. And even equipment, what is your internet access like? I have a friend who, she started working at home during the pandemic. Her roommate was also working from home, and it was really difficult because they could hear each other when they were like in meetings and on calls. And it was just, it just was not ideal. Sometimes your internet isn't strong enough, to handle 2 people working from home. So there's things to think about if it's going to work. And then part of it also is the job. What is the work? What kind of work are you hoping to do? What kind of work do you envision doing from home? A lot of work or pieces of work can transition to being done remotely. And then there's going to be things that can't, right? We go into some depth about occupations that have a lot of potential for remote work and ones that really don't, things that you have to be in person for. So, this workshop really just a great starting point, thinking about remote work if you're interested, getting some great information, starting to really do that self-assessment piece to see if this is a viable option for you. Okay, I'm checking my time. All right, so those are 2 of our workshops. So that's future work, remote work, and this is another one, kind of a switching gears a little bit, but we, sorry, I want that to go away. All right, so this was one, this is a workshop that I created really out of a need that kept coming up in some of our other workshops and in feedback we would get from folks. Often in our interview workshop, this would come up. You're in an interview, you get asked, one of the questions sometimes we'll practice is actually, tell us about why you left your last job or how your last job ended. And just a really tricky question for a lot of folks to answer. And it just became pretty apparent that a workshop could be really beneficial to create a space to acknowledge that most of us have had a negative work experience. So we actually start our workshop off with this image and just kind of like, ask for if you're comfortable, if you've experienced any of these, raise your hand or just put a yes in the chat. But really just creating a workshop where we're normalizing that most of us have had some kind of work experience that has been, maybe it was just disappointing. It wasn't what we thought it was going to be. It didn't work out the way we wanted it to or hoped it would. Maybe it was, a job loss that we did not initiate. We weren't ready to leave. The circumstances we left under were not what we wanted. Maybe it was a toxic work environment or really, just a really bad boss or, team. Might have been burnout, right? So most of us have experienced some negative piece within a work experience. So we basically just created a space to acknowledge that is a common experience, and that if we don't take the time to process those experiences, that what can happen is they really can have a lot of impact on your future work. Kind of the two main ways to think about it is can really impact how we make career decisions. If we had a terrible, terrible, terrible experience in, your last job, when you're starting to look for that new job, you might just, write off that entire industry. It was so terrible. I am never going back to education. I actually hear this from a lot of clients. They're so burnt out from education, being in that system, that now they're like, I'm never going back to that. And that might be a great choice. And there might be some missed opportunities in totally dismissing an entire industry. It can impact how we, obviously our confidence in our skills. If we had a boss that was, constantly telling us we weren't good at our job or at certain things, that's going to really impact our confidence in our abilities, in our hireability. And that is going to impact how we talk to people when we're networking, how we interview, how we even present ourselves on a resume. And these past experiences can also impact you, once you're in that new job, right? It might be a better environment, but you're going to probably carry some of those fears or doubts with you into that new environment, or just behaviors that were developed as survival tactics in a negative work, experience. You might bring those same survival tools and behaviors into a new one that actually will not be positive, might make it hard to build relationships with new coworkers or build trust or, things like that. So we really want to, just give us space to kind of start processing and acknowledging these past experiences so you're able to make career decisions, without that past experience really guiding them. It's a good workshop. It goes I would say probably the workshop we have that goes kind of the deepest into personal experiences. But we have a lot of really great ways to start processing, to start rebuilding confidence, to kind of reconnect with yourself and, what you want from work, that working relationship. So really, really powerful. And, in the long run, this work of processing, it has a direct impact on, finding, seeking out jobs that are going to be a good fit, are going to be positive, that are going to fit with your career goals. It's going to really impact how you interview and start a new job. So really, really important to do that work if needed. Okay, so that's kind of our heavy workshop. But then we also have one called Capable and Confident in Your Job Search. And this is, if you need like a little, infusion of encouragement, this is a really great workshop. I would encourage any job seeker to attend this. It's, we all know that job searching is not great or not an enjoyable experience. I've heard it described as the worst job I've ever had is looking for work. It's just, it can be exhausting. It can be discouraging, right? And so this workshop is really trying to give a new focus in your work, in your job search. So looking at, where are you focusing your energy? How can you focus on the possibilities or the opportunities that might be ahead, or the positive pieces of this transition, and really gaining back, energy and momentum to keep, the process going until you reach your goals. So this one it's fun, it's encouraging, and I think it's just needed for job searching, especially when we're 2 years into a pandemic and we already have all these other things happening with isolation and whatnot. I think this encouragement it's just needed. It's tough and important to know that you are hireable, you do have skills, you have things to offer, and kind of just reminding each other of that, and that we're not alone in this process. All right. Okay. So those were a couple of the new workshops we have that I wanted to just highlight, give a little taste of what is in them. This is just a list of the other workshops we currently offer. So we have a big mix. We have kind of our classic ones of career exploration, which it sounds like a few folks here that are really contemplating changes in their career. If you haven't taken our career exploration workshop, this is a great starting place. We really dive into, how can you expand your thinking to think beyond what you've done, so that you might be able to step into new opportunities. We look at ways that your values can play into this, your skills, your just needs, what do you need a job to provide for you in this time in your life? So really great workshop there. So we have, exploring what's out there career-wise. We have a newer workshop about job applications. It's a little dry, but if you're getting stuck filling out those job applications or just want to learn like some little insider tips, it is a helpful workshop. We have resumes, LinkedIn, job searching, interview. We also added negotiating your salary. This is one that we introduced in the fall. So this is still newer. And I think it's a really helpful workshop. Again, negotiating salary is something that I never really had much experience in, never really talked much about, what do you make at your job? But this is a workshop that really starts that conversation and gives some of the, just like the lay of the land of, why is it important to negotiate? What things can you negotiate on? What are your options and what can this conversation look like? And, what are the benefits of having that negotiation? So that could be a cool workshop to attend. And then we also have our workshop geared specifically for the 50+ job seeker as well. So those are the current workshops we offer, as well as the 4 I talked about. And
Laura, just wanted to ask,
Mhm.
with the Future of Work workshop, I went in to sign up for that in March.
Mm.
It looks like your March calendar isn't fully up and running. Is that just my phone, or is that?
No, you are correct. Yeah, we should have the March workshops listed. I would say next week. We've been short staffed. We're down to 2 trainers at the moment, so we're kind of juggling a lot. But yes, the Future of Work I think I probably can pull it up. I think the first week of March. But yes, it'll be in Connecting Colorado shortly. And again, that's one I would love to have it more frequent, and maybe at some point it will be, but for now, it'll probably be every other month.
That
So
looks really neat if that's going to be with you and Catherine Keegan. Boy, that should be really neat.
Yep, it will be. Yes. Okay. Yes. So won't be able to sign up for it yet, but our Future Work will be March 9th. Let's put that in March 9 at 9 a.m. So yeah, my goal is to get those March workshops in Connecting Colorado next week. So you'll be able to.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of Connecting Colorado, that is where you can sign up for all of our workshops. You do need an account if you don't have one already, pretty easy to set up, but then you can find all of our workshops here. That's how you can sign up for them. You can also find our schedule. We have just like an events calendar. And I always like to do a little plug that we do offer financial workshops. Career and finances, they go hand in hand. So if you are, exploring different career options, you're in a transition, I would consider taking our financial workshops too. They are awesome. Marcia, who teaches them, she actually makes talking about money like interesting and like engaging. It's kind of amazing. But they are so helpful. And I just saw Lauren put in the chat Boulder County also has one-on-one folks that can meet with you. So if you want to meet more, in that situation, like one-on-one with someone to talk about some of your financial goals. I've met with them around how to figure out like paying down student debt, those kind of things. They are amazing too. I'll try to get the link and put it in the chat in a moment for those. Yep. And again, open to anyone, the financial workshops, as well as the one-on-one. And you can this is our team email, ceinfo@bouldercounty.org. So you can always send us an email if you're, just have questions, having trouble signing up for a workshop. Okay. So then I just wanted to give a slightly broader view of Workforce. So some of the other services that we offer to support job seekers and those career services, we have, so kind of our front line, we have a virtual call center. And this was actually created in the pandemic. This was kind of our, oh my gosh, how are we going to pivot and offer services to the community while we're closed? So we've had this virtual call center going for, almost 2 years now. And this is a great starting point. You can call. We have bilingual Spanish staff on the line, but if you have, questions, if you have unemployment questions, that is an incredible phone number to get support through. We also have service navigators and they're on the phone, but eventually as we start getting back in person, we hope these are going to be kind of our front line. These are the folks you're going to chat with. They're going to answer your questions. If you're trying to figure out what services might be available to you that you could connect with, they're your guide. We offer obviously career workshops, financial workshops. Some of our financial ones are offered in Spanish and English. We don't have that option with career workshops at the moment. And we also do one-on-one appointments. So, you know, if you have a resume and you're wanting some feedback on it, you can email us and we can do a one-on-one resume review. Or you have an interview coming up and you want to practice some interview questions, we can set up a one-on-one appointment for those things. So we kind of have both sides of workshops and one-on-one appointments. A few other services we offer, we have a computer training center. This is all online, all virtual. This is a great resource, again, if you want to build up some of your skills, some of those, you know, learning different computer programs and software. You can, there's trainings around the, you know, Google Suite, Microsoft Office Suite. I mean, lots of other things. But if you're wanting to learn some of those, or maybe just refamiliarize yourself and kind of build some confidence with those computer skills, this is a great resource. It's free. I'll show you. You just send us an email and we can get you connected with that as well. And it's just like a self-paced there are tutorials that you follow, and they have like quizzes and all of that, but it's something you can do on your own time at your own pace. We also offer high school equivalency services. So we have, if you or someone you know is looking to get their high school equivalency diploma, we have lots of supports for that. We also, it's not specifically listed here, but we also have some great resources specifically for young adults. So anyone 16 to 24, we have a young adult program. We have a young leaders academy. So if you have young people in your life that are looking for support around career and, you know, so education and employment, we have a lot of those resources as well. And then we have occupational skills training and work-based learning. So these are things that we have, essentially we have funds that we can support, you know, folks in the community with in, a lot of it's that upskilling and, you know, just getting that on the job training so that you can move into the work that you're wanting to do. So occupational skills training, that might be like a short-term training program to get a certification or a license. Work-based learning is going to be more on the job, hands-on training, it might be an internship. So we have lots of stuff available depending on what you're looking for. So this is my last slide. These are just basic contact points for us. This is our phone number. Career services, a great way if you're thinking, oh, I'd really like, you know, maybe some coaching around career, just talking with someone about what are my goals and, you know, kind of making a plan. Maybe those career services are, I might need some training. I'm kind of curious about training, or maybe an apprenticeship or internship would be really incredible. I want to get my, you know, high school equivalency diploma so that I can really move towards my career goals. This, we have a form, an interest form, and this is probably the best entry point into our services. So we can really make sure you're getting connected with the right teams and the supports that you're looking for. If you have questions about workshops specifically, this is our trainer email. If you want to get connected with the Computer Training Center or LinkedIn Learning, I forgot to put it on here, but you can email this email, ctcinfo@bouldercounty.org, and just say, I'm interested in a LinkedIn Learning subscription, or I'm interested in the Computer Training Center, and we'll get you connected. And then again, a little shout out to Connecting Colorado. If you don't have an account through Connecting Colorado, that is something you'll need to set up to access most of our services. Okay, that is what I have for you all. Any questions?
Could you put your screen back to that one slide with the skills that you like? You said that you really like that slide while we have the question and answer period. It was the multicolored one.
Oh, yeah.
The
Okay.
percentages.
Yep. All right, let me get that back up.
I missed some things on that. Oh, great. Yeah. Anybody who has questions, jump in. I'm not sure how long Laura is going to be able to be with us.
Yeah, probably just maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
But any?
And if Laura, if you're able to share your slides with us, please do. In like a PowerPoint or like a PDF or what have you.
Yeah, who's the best person to send that to distribute it?
Send it to me and CC
Okay.
Don Parcher.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Laura, can you go back to the one that had the big circle? I was trying to read all the different things that were on there at the very.
Okay. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. This one?
That one. Yes. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to try to look up, in case anyone wants it, those one-on-one financial appointment contact. Okay.
Does anybody have questions?
Just answered everything.
Laura, I have a question. In the future of work, you talked about people in the that jobs are becoming sort of more aggregated as opposed to sort of single silo skill set sort of jobs. And throughout the last 15 years of my career, I really had a very aggregated job. I was the HR guy, the contracts guy. I did IP. I did, some PM work. I was the purchasing guy, et cetera, et cetera. And so figuring out my compensation was always very difficult because, you could go to salary.com and find out, the comps for a specific job. But for someone that wore a bunch of different hats, that was very difficult. In your, salary negotiation workshop, given the fact that, people increasingly are going to have these aggregate jobs, do you guys cover that situation about how to advise them how to go get the right compensation, given the fact that they're not having, they're no longer just an accountant, but an accountant and fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank?
Yeah, I don't think we cover that specifically, but I really appreciate you voicing that because I'm going to make a note of that. What we do talk about is more, like you said, yeah, it's part of it's that research, as best you can, and maybe the research out there isn't going to be perfect. Of here's the the going compensation for this role if the role really is like 4 roles in one. Right. So part of it might be looking more at other companies that have similar positions that do involve, those multiple hats and what, kind of their compensation looks like. Part of it is going to be looking at yourself, what's your personal salary range, looking at what your expenses are, what your needs are, and incorporating, what is your experience level? What are you might have 3 areas of expertise, which is going to mean something, depending on what the job, how it aligns with the job you're applying for. So, yeah, we don't address that directly, but I'm going to think on that because it does seem like that is going to be important as we're moving forward, how to really capture your value when it's not confined to, one siloed area of expertise. So yeah, I don't know if that's helpful at all, but I'm gonna think on what you mentioned and see what I can find about it. Okay. All right. Well, I put a link in the chat to the one-on-one coaching. And then I'm going to send these slides. I'll send them to Michael and Don. And all those links are embedded in the document. So if you're able to just kind of distribute that to the folks that were here or whoever, that is great. You'll have all our contact information. And yeah, I have to get going to my next meeting, but thank you all for the opportunity to talk about workforce. It's been lovely being here with you today.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Laura, and good luck with your meeting.
Thank you. All right. Hope to see
Thanks,
some of you
Laura. Bye.
at our
Bye-bye.
workshop.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
So I guess we can go back and resume, kind of do longer intros unless someone has comments or just we want to continue discussion on Laura's presentation.
And Trent, please stop the recording.
Okay. Let me figure out how to do that. That's just under participants, Don?
No, it'd be an option at the bottom of your screen. I can take host back and do it.
Oh, no. There we go. I got it.